Antonio Valencia doing the captaincy duties. And Vasco Regini is opposite number. Match referee is an Irishman, Neil Doyle. And Mourinho sending his side out into combat today, Paul. Considerably better prepared, one imagines, physically than Sampdoria, because the Italian league season starts after the English one, so Manchester United should be pretty much nearly there now, shouldn't they?
Yeah, you would think so, John. It's going to be an interesting game, very, very interesting. What we're hearing coming out of the Manchester United camp is that there's a togetherness that wasn't there last season, and as you know as well as I do, when you've got togetherness in the camp, that can take you a long way. So we'll just see. Matic's there, going to be making his debut, I believe, this evening.
Yes, he's had a busy week. He signed on Monday.
I don't know how long he'll play, because his pre-season is probably way behind everybody.
Well, that's where he fits into the side, wearing his newly assigned shirt number 31. Signed for £40 million on Monday. It was his 29th birthday yesterday. The organisers have it up as a back four. We'll see how they actually line up when they take to the pitch. But the look of it from the formation that they initially adopted out there was that they would play with three central defenders. And just confirmation of the Sampdoria lineup as well. A deal of experience, particularly in the midfield area, with Torreira, the Uruguayan, and the Paraguayan Barreto, who's played the last 11 seasons in Italian football. So Neil Doyle ready to get us underway. Manchester United, of course, in the red, and Sampdoria today in white. And the vast bulk of the 52,000 seats inside the Aviva Stadium filled. Tickets went very quickly for this one. De Gea with the clearing kick out towards Antonio Valencia. Manchester United greatly enjoyed their North American jaunt. Training facilities at UCLA were excellent. And results overall fairly encouraging. They've won 4 of their 6 pre-season games, won another one against Real Madrid via a penalty shootout. Here's Lukaku, and now the 21-year-old Brazilian Andreas Pereira. Valencia. Manchester United returning to the Aviva Stadium for the first time since they played a part in the opening of this grand arena almost exactly 7 years ago. They played a League of Ireland Select 11 in the opening sporting fixture to be played here, and won by 7 goals to 1.
Manchester United, I've gone with the 3-5-2, John. I must admit that I like this system personally. I think Mkhitaryan, who's just on the ball now, I think he's a fabulous footballer. And I think if he plays either up front with Lukaku as a 2, or whether he just plays drifting anywhere along that front line, he can be very, very dangerous. He can open the door, as we saw earlier in the pre-season games. He can open the door for other people. He's a fantastic player.
Well, here is Henrik Mkhitaryan. Antonio Valencia, who's playing fairly high up the pitch. Former winger, of course. Now Pereira. Jose Mourinho about to start his 2nd season in charge. We can look at Uber's drive for success. Manchester United last season finished 6th, some 24 points behind Chelsea.
When you say 6th and 24 points behind the champions, it doesn't sound too good, does it?
Of course, their solace came in the cup competitions, didn't it? Winners of the Europa League and the League Cup.
Absolutely. Mourinho said they won 2.5 trophies. It's not like him to be a little shy about that. They're the 3 trophies.
Well, he was claiming the Community Shield as well, wasn't he? I'm not sure about that.
He normally shouts it from the rooftops if they win something.
I think one of the other points of interest, Paul, looking ahead to the new season, is whether Manchester United's style of football is more typical of the club's glamorous history, rather than the rather dour sort of approach that we saw so often last season. Sampdoria on the attack, looking for Quagliarella, stepping in his blint.
It's very interesting. Just looking at the youngster there, Pereira, working very, very hard on the right-hand side.
Here's Mkhitaryan, the Armenian. Pogba's made quite a run. Here's Darmian. There was a moment there at which Darmian might have let fly himself.
Absolutely, he should have hit it. What I liked about the attack also, people already know that I'm a fan of Mkhitaryan. I just love the run of Pogba. But because of this system, John, Pogba can play a little bit higher, maybe 10, 15 yards further up the field, and he's making those runs into the box. He's an exciting player when he gets in that attacking third.
Barreto losing out to Pogba. Sampdoria were heading for a very comfortable top half finish in Serie A, and then rather tailed off at the end of last season, failing to win any of their 8 final games. Clung on to 10th place in the end. Winners of Serie A just once, back in 1991, that magnificent side of Gianluca Vialli, Roberto Mancini, Gianluca Pagliuca in goal, Srečko Katanec in midfield. Under the wily guidance of the Serbian manager Vujadin Boškov.
We're assuming that Mourinho has been working on this system for quite a period of time, various systems for various teams, but I always look at it, John. I always look at, was the first point of press, where are they going to start to press? Is it Lukaku and Mkhitaryan? Which way are they going to show the team, so that gives everybody else a chance to key off and close down the space on the field? So the work that you've done on the training ground, you want to see that implemented this afternoon in this highly competitive game.
Happy birthday to Marco Giampaolo, who is 50 today. Second season in charge of Sampdoria.
There's Matic right in front of that threesome. Off Smalling and Blunt. I wouldn't say it's a rip-roaring pace to the game, but I think both teams are just feeling each other out. Manchester United have the ascendancy in possession. Something to look out there for Manchester United fans. The big mates off the field, Lukaku and Pogba. As soon as Pogba just opened up some space, he just run off the back of the defender there, Lukaku, and immediately Pogba tried to find him. Yes, he overhit it, but something to look out for this season with those two players in tandem.
Were you at all surprised that Chelsea allowed Matic to go to one of their main rivals?
I can only think it's a similar situation for Petr Cech going to Arsenal, John, because I think it's the way Abramovich likes to do it. He wants to reward players for what they've done for the football club. It is an eyebrow raiser.
Emergency action had to be taken there from a wayward back pass. Sorry to interrupt, Paul, but as David De Gea's expression tells you, we were about a yard away from a spectacular opening goal.
And a smiling Jose Mourinho.
Well, that really was bordering on the bizarre. And potentially extremely embarrassing. It was Daley Blind that played it back.
Well, he hit it blindly, didn't he? He didn't get his head up. David De Gea was to the left of the goal, offering himself as an option for Blind. I don't want to see that too often this season.
Better now than after mid-August.
I can assure you they've not been working on that in training. Well, this looks like it's a tap to the side and then a smash into the roof of the net. That's my guess.
Indirect free kick because in extremis De Gea had to handle a back pass.
You very rarely work on these free kicks in the 6-yard box. Well, good luck getting everybody back 10 yards because they'll be in the back of the net.
Exactly. So they have to go back as far as they can, which is the goal line. There's a little bit of luck involved here.
I think he's going to do it on the volley. Flick it up and on the volley. Oh, no.
And Manchester United found enough bodies to keep it out. And now they break themselves, led by Valencia. Held up by Linetti, which has allowed Sampdoria to funnel players back. Mkhitaryan. Damian. And it's 1-0 at the other end. Seconds after almost conceding a crazy own goal, Henrik Mkhitaryan steers Manchester United in front.
Well, what a strange game this is, football. Terrible error in the back from Blind. They get away with it. The fast break with Valencia, absolutely tremendous. He was backed up on the right-hand side. Here's the break. Here's Valencia. Look at the aggressive running. Sprinting with the ball, gets his head up, nothing on for him. The Mkhitaryan picks it up, whips it out to the far side to Damian. Damian with a very nice ball across the face. Mkhitaryan follows it in. And in the end, it's a very nice goal. A very nice, simple tapping for Mkhitaryan, who I must say has started the game extremely well.
So the break came having defended the indirect free kick, and it involved both wing-backs.
Well, maybe that's a pattern of things to come for Manchester United fans this season.
How different that scoreline might have looked.
Well, we were speaking earlier, John, about how it wasn't very attractive to watch Manchester United that last season, but I must say that Valencia probably covered himself with the most glory. He was a really willing workhorse at right back, always willing to get forward, and you could see the strength of his fitness there, breaking away from the Sampdoria defenders.
A couple of minutes of significant incident. Mkhitaryan's goal, his third of pre-season, which matches the tally of the new signing Lukaku. One of the men that made the goal possible.
He's just bright. Whenever he's in possession of the ball, he's very bright. He gets his head up. He sees the pass. Generally, the weight of his passes, John, are very, very good.
Lukaku on the chase, but the ball skips through obligingly to Pugioni. You're watching this international friendly on ESPN2, presented by Heineken.
Pulper just dropping in there to get a touch. You don't really want to see him get the ball off the back foot. Matic can do that job. Talking the likes of Pereira, looks very useful on the ball. Technically looks very good.
There's Jacopo Sala, the right back. Sampdoria have just come back from 19 days in the Italian Alps at training camp. Played 3 games, won them all and scored 15 goals in the process. They came back to earth in more ways than one on Saturday when they played a game more or less at sea level in Trento against Verona and lost 1-0. Offside flag is up.
Goes down with the ball. Nice little soft cushion volley to the far post. Brave header from Mkhitaryan coming in there. Just followed the play. It was his pass that found Damian down that left-hand side. He followed the play into the box and got rewarded with the header.
Last touch came off the defender, but it's certainly Mkhitaryan's goal. In this pre-season friendly context, at any rate. No dubious goals panel to sit in session on that.
That's one thing that they can do this season, Manchester United, to play beyond the high press into Lukaku.
Here's Pereira.
Well, I think he thought it was a corner kick. Excellent movement. Pereira making that run. It looked as though it did come off a Sampdoria player last. In fact, it did.
Sampdoria went and lined up as if to defend the corner. Let's get the Barretto. Fouled by Mkhitaryan.
Always makes the defender smile when the front players are working hard initially to close that ball down. Makes their job a little bit easier, gets the head down of the attacking player.
Silvestre. And the first time effort by Fabio Quagliarella, who has that sort of thing within him.
Well, it's a fabulous run. There he is from outside to in. Just caught the wrong side there. Lindelof caught the wrong side. He's got to be more aware. Poor defending from him. Excellent thought process there from the striker. Almost found the back of the net with the volley.
More pre-season football to look forward to. Saturday, 12:25 p.m. Eastern. We'll have a terrific-looking friendly for you here on ESPN. Tottenham taking on Serie A champions Juventus at Wembley Stadium in London. It's also streaming live on the ESPN app as well. Pavlovic. Caprari, the new signing from Inter. Knocked out by Matic.
It looks as though Manchester United, if they are going to stick with this three, John, they've got to work on the space, and Lindelof got dragged out on the right-hand side. There was nobody that tucked in between Small and the Sampdoria players, so that's a job for Matic, in my opinion. Maybe just learned his trade in this Man United side.
Damian. Smalling. As Paul was mentioning earlier, there'll be no Phil Jones and no Eric Bailly for next Tuesday's European Super Cup meeting with Real Madrid and Macedonia. Both suspended by UEFA. They will also miss the opening Champions League group stage fixture. Maybe gives an insight into why Mourinho is experimenting with three central defenders. And he certainly has high hopes of Andreas Pereira. For Mourinho's first season to be completely satisfactory, he says he wants one more player in, and presumably that is Ivan Perisic, the Croatian from Inter, who has been on their radar throughout the summer.
Yes, sometimes he gets a little bit frustrated that the players are not brought in when he wants them. Ideally, you obviously want players in so you can integrate them in the pre-season. But still a long way to go for the window. August 31st it closes, so it depends what chips are going to fall. Maybe Candreva, that's been spoken about, John, maybe him going to Chelsea. Will that affect the Perisic deal?
And there's also speculation on whether Marouane Fellaini will still be with Manchester United come the end of the transfer window. He's been linked with Galatasaray amongst others. I think that speculation product of Matic's arrival.
Well, the thing is, it's all about squad depth. I mean, if you're going to be attacking on all fronts, if you want to make a charge at the Premier League, you're in the Champions League, you want to make a charge of that. This is Manchester United. The fans expect. So you do need a deep squad.
Had 64 games last season. 26 of them were not in the Premier League, as they went all the way in Europe's secondary club competition, the Europa League, beating Ajax in the final in Stockholm. We've also seen off Southampton in slightly fortuitous circumstances in the League Cup final at Wembley.
It's noticeable in this system that Pogba can get further forward. He's got tremendous energy levels. He gets up and he gets back, but you already noticed that he's a supplemental forward there when the ball goes into Lukaku, as well as Mkhitaryan being up there for support. Also, Pogba's there very quickly. The problem is, John, with the system is if it's going to be Lindelof and it's going to be Blint, when they get dragged out wide and get isolated 1v1, can they handle those 1v1 situations?
Lukaku. This is Blint, and now Darmian. Being asked to go again by Mkhitaryan. And that's a foul by Paul Pogba.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. A genuine effort from Pogba, trying to get the ball. Just got mixed up with the player. There's a little block. Pogba just genuinely trying to get the ball. Referee right on top of it.
Matic's arrival means that Manchester United have spent £146 million on 3 players this summer. Lukaku, Matic and Lindelof. Any team to spend more, Manchester City. Total spending by the Premier League clubs to this point, £910 million in this window. Same time last year it was £480 million. So the record summer transfer window spend of just over 1.1 billion is bound to be broken and raised.
Just looking when Lindelof and Blint get the ball, looking at the passing lanes through to the forwards, it didn't seem to be any jump.
Valencia. And Mkhitaryan beaten away by the veteran goalkeeper Puccioni. 36, but the reflexes are still sharp.
You spoke earlier, John, about the type of football that Manchester United are used to playing and fans are used to watching. Looking at that, they have 4 runners in the box, so they're committed. You can do that with this system. You've just got to be careful that you don't leave the door open defensively. There's Valencia on the ball again, driving, aggressive run, whips it in. Mkhitaryan unmarked, near post. He's probably looking for a glancer there rather than a power header. He just got a little bit too much on it. It was a decent save by the keeper, more or less right at him though.
Smalling. Now Lindelof. Lindelof seems to have just about recovered from that challenge in the Real Madrid game 10 days ago in Santa Clara that conceded a penalty with a challenge that, well, we were discussing it before the match, not so much late as posthumous.
It absolutely was. It was a terrible challenge. Maybe he thought the referee wouldn't see it, John.
Lukaku finding an angle, but not quite finding the net.
Well, there's the mobility of Lukaku. Not only does he play central, but over the top, ball down the right-hand side. He's always coming inside on his left foot. There he is, cuts inside, and he just tries to shape it into that far post. And there's another good sight for Manchester United fans. Pogba in the box there, just drifting in, just in case his mate Lukaku wants to pick him out.
Blind. As a former international striker yourself, Paul, had you had the dilemma of signing either Lukaku or Morata, which one would you have gone with?
I would have gone with Mr. Morata.
Because?
Well, Conte knows him from his Juventus days. He knows what he can get out of him. He knows that Morata can play beyond that high press, which is super important nowadays. I just think at the level that Morata's played at, I just think is a little bit more proven. I mean, I wish Lukaku all the best. I think putting the number 9 on your back for Manchester United is different than putting your number 9 on your back for Everton. And I'm not being disparaging about Everton. They've made some moves in the market this season. Of course they have. But it's a different animal when you're playing for Manchester United.
Here's Darmian, and now Pogba. And still, at this moment in time, Paul Pogba, the world's most expensive player. Pereira, not for much longer it seems, bearing in mind today's news about Neymar. Pereira again. 3 waiting. Matic. Darmian. Squad of 23 have travelled with Sampdoria. They go from here to South Wales to play Swansea in their next warm-up game on Saturday. But they are without their most potent attacking weapon, the Czech striker Patrik Schick, who was meant to be joining Juventus but failed 2 medicals.
As you say, Sampdoria probably just a little bit behind Manchester United in the preparation. Manchester United a little bit more dynamic in this first half.
This international friendly on ESPN2 is presented by Heineken. Open your world. Enjoy responsibly. And in part by Uber, official partner of the ICC.
You can see, because Pogba's a little bit higher, John, Mkhitaryan and Lukaku working hard defensively. It's actually hard for Sampdoria to get out.
Here is Pogba. Mkhitaryan. Valencia. And Pereira.
Well, most of the game is being played in this Manchester United attacking half. Ball goes outside there to Valencia. Just cuts it inside there, and you can see what Pereira's trying to do. He's trying to shape it into the top corner. Which top corner, I'm not quite sure, but it goes flying over the top.
Too many better stadiums around to watch football in the Aviva in Dublin, home of the Irish national football and rugby teams. Out on the site of the old Lansdowne Road, the former National Stadium. And the coach of Sampdoria, Marco Giampaolo, replaced Vincenzo Montella, the start of last season when Montella headed off to Milan. Lukaku can worry Regina here. Valencia back to Pereira. Pogba. Offside flag raised.
I like the system a lot, John. I like this, the way that Man United have set up this 3-5-2. I think as an attacking force, they look very dangerous. I'm not saying that the back three that we're seeing today is going to be the back three for the majority of the Premier League, but it's one area that I would be a little bit concerned about if I was Mourinho. You know that Eric Bailly, when he comes back in, he loves to put his foot in. Very aggressive central defender.
Wayward kick by Darmian. He's caught the Belgian Dennis Praet.
Most certainly did. He was very late going in. A little bit fortunate. This is a very friendly.
But as very friendlies go, Paul, it's not been a bad opening half hour.
No.
Gilded by the goal by Mkhitaryan in the 10th minute.
From a rather strange free kick that was given away by Manchester United from Blint's pass back to De Gea, who I don't think De Gea was out of position. I just think that Blint didn't get his head up and didn't recognise where the goalkeeper was. The goalkeeper was offering himself as a passing option. And then tremendous break from Valencia, and that was it.
Gianpaolo is perhaps unkindly described in Italy as something of a journeyman coach. It's his 9th club post in a career that stretches back the last 13 years. Darmian. Pogba. And Lukaku was interested in that, but Puglioni decisive. Flag again up for offside.
Well, again, Pogba looking for Lukaku. As soon as he gets his head up, very marginal decision, I must say. But he's looking for Lukaku every opportunity that he gets in those advanced areas, Pogba.
Antonio Valencia. Come out to Pereira. Valencia, the long-serving Ecuador international. And he's gone on again. Praet's in the walls. He's taken one in the face now. From Mkhitaryan.
Barreto, though, getting the ball, he had got his head up. There was nothing to hit for him, so he had to hold on to the ball. It's one of the problems that Sampdoria are having here with the press that Mourinho was brought to the table this evening. Pogba, Lukaku, Mkhitaryan is very difficult with this narrow diamond that Sampdoria are employing. They just cannot seem to get out. Oh. This was another naughty one. Oh, on the hip. Mourinho felt that. You could feel the pain.
Here's Romelu Lukaku. Back from Mkhitaryan. Rescued by Matic.
Manchester United fans wanted Lukaku to shoot there on his left peg.
Once more Lukaku.
Good tracking. But again, Manchester United, Matic that time closing the ball down quickly.
How much of a factor do you think Manchester United are likely to be in the title race this season?
I think there will be a factor. I think from what I've seen going forward, I think that there will be I think they're going to cause problems for teams. I've got no doubt that they'll be much better than they were last season. That's not saying a great deal, but I do think they'll comfortably get in the top four. Comfortably.
But not win the title.
I've got Manchester City winning at the moment, John, to be honest. I don't think Chelsea will be too far behind.
Valencia, Mkhitaryan.
And then I've got Manchester United. Tottenham haven't been very busy in the market, but they've still got that very strong squad. Lost a couple of players.
They've also got the Wembley factor to consider this season, playing all the home games there.
Absolutely. There's a half chance glancing header there. That will be very interesting for Tottenham, how that pans out, that Wembley situation, because obviously with West Ham, that was the #1 excuse that they kept bringing to the table, that going to the Olympic Stadium, it's not quite the same. It's most certainly not the same as Upton Park, as you know what a fantastic place that was to play football. Manchester United playing with Damian with chalk on his boots, and Valencia with chalk on his boots, playing with a lot of width, making the field as big as possible, opening up those passing lanes. That's why they're a little bit more fluid and fluent than Sampdoria.
Pereira. Valencia back to Pereira. Comfortable slice by Vasco Regini.
Yeah, disappointing service there for Pereira. Excellent movement by him, but he's got to get his head up. You can't fizz that and hit the front man. You've got to either dink it up a little bit to Damian on the far post, or you just got to cut it back at the edge of the box to Mkhitaryan, who was wide open.
Smalling has stayed forward. Here's Blint. Pereira.
Half-hearted appeal by the crowd for handball.
I don't know whether you enjoyed the extraordinary finish to the US women's national team game against Brazil the other night in San Diego. 3-1 down to 4-3 up. Next, in the Tournament of Nations, it's tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, ESPN2. They take on Japan at the StubHub Center, the home of the LA Galaxy. The US 26-1-7 against the Nadeshiko. The match is also streaming live on the ESPN app. of finish to remember the other night. I was watching in the hotel bar, Paul, and got so excited when Julie Ertz steered in the winner, I nearly spilt my orange juice.
Yes, you're a big orange juice fan, I've noticed that. Matic's done a very steady job. There he is. Very, very steady, considering he's not had much pre-season.
Caprari's corner, dealt with summarily by Pogba. It's been mostly Manchester United. Quagliarella.
Yeah, it's always difficult. He did very well, they're holding the ball up. Not an easy situation where the ball's absolutely just fizzed into you.
Salah's cross.
Just that one moment in the first half in free play, John, where Lindelof just got dragged out wide on the right hand side and Matic didn't fill in, and there was just a moment of holding the breath for Man United fans. But other than that, this system looks nice and solid.
And Sampdoria were hoping for a free kick, and belatedly they've got one. Caprari, and shirt was tugged by Daley Blind.
Yeah, just got a little bit too tight, didn't it? Blind here, way too tight. Caprari felt him, rolled him. They're the danger signs. When you get the back three just spread out in isolation, that can be a big issue with this system.
Bosnian left back Pavlovic has come across to take it. Pace two, and it was awkward. Very awkward for Victor Lindelof.
He knew what he was doing. Not. It was a tremendous cross right across the face of the 6-yard box. Lindelof got all his wires crossed there. It wasn't convincing.
Pavlovic now with a corner instead. Well, use of Blint's right foot. You're watching this international friendly on ESPN2, presented by Heineken.
Matic there was just in pitch, hasn't really looked out of sorts at all. His fitness levels must be very high.
Lukaku barreling past one defender, but having bypassed Sylvestre, there was no way beyond Regini. The ball is out of play. It is a Manchester United throw, thanks to Lukaku's pressure.
Praet recognising good stuff from the number 9. Working hard for the team.
Offside, Lukaku this time. And coming up on the Ally half-time report, first half highlights, and a look at some of the best moments and images from this year's International Champions Cup, which I think it's been fair to say, Paul, has been the best one so far.
Yeah, it's been very, very good. The Roma-Juventus game at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough was a, you know, until obviously the coaches go to the benches, it was very competitive.
Matic has made his mark.
He tried to stop himself. Referee just recognised that, had a word with him. But
just coming back to the ICC generally, the fact there hasn't been a major international tournament has clearly helped in getting more of the frontline players here in relatively good condition. But I think the Neymar story has been a blessing to the organisers in that it's kept their tournament, an ESPN tournament, very much in the headlines throughout.
Absolutely. I mean, the numbers that went to that game, the numbers that watched the game, the numbers that wanted to come to the game was absolutely crazy. It just shows you how big those two teams are, Barcelona, Real Madrid, worldwide.
Well, it was a sporting event with, to me, as an outsider looking in, a sort of Super Bowl wrapping to it, with the build-up over the course of the week.
Well, there's superstars in every position over the field in those two teams.
But it was beautifully presented, and sell out in the ground, and 1.7 million of you chose to watch it with us on ESPN as well. We were delighted to have you with us. Half-time rapidly approaching in Dublin. Valencia, tireless worker in Manchester United's cause. Lukaku. Thoughts on the half as a whole, Paul?
I've been rather impressed with Manchester United. I like them going forward. I think this man getting a little bit further up the field
Pogba having a go
is key. I like the way that Darmian and Valencia have offered themselves with width, and I like the work rate of Lukaku. Actually, I think outside of possession has been very good.
Well, Mourinho off at a rate of knots down the tunnel to await his charges in the dressing room. A goal from Henrik Mkhitaryan. Welcome back to the Aviva Stadium in Dublin, where they've started a little early for the second half. This being a pre-season friendly, that sort of thing tends to happen, and today it has. 2 changes to make you aware of. Start of the second half. Juan Mata is on, Michael Carrick is on, Marouane Fellaini is on for Manchester United. And a Herrera too making an appearance. Hear them being read out to the crowd.
Just see if the substitutions make a change to the system. It doesn't look as though that's the fact. It looks as though they're playing the same system.
Manchester United making changes, unlike Sampdoria, who are going with the same 11 for the time being. Difference between the sides, tangible difference at least, is Henrik Mkhitaryan's goal. Came as early as the 10th minute. Well constructed, a length of the field break involving both the wing-backs, Valencia down the right and Darmian off the left. Just moments after Manchester United had to line up on their own goal line to defend an indirect free kick after a wayward and rather rash back pass by Daley Blind nearly beat David De Gea. There's Fabio Quagliarella, who's been a force in Italian football for 15 years now. And Jose Mourinho, who has been talking whimsically about staying for 15 years at Manchester United. Saying the other day, it's now 13 years since Porto won the Champions League under him, which called him to the football world's attention, and he said it's gone like the click of a finger. But,
I don't think last year went like the click of a finger.
No. Here's Valencia. Caprari, the newcomer from Inter. Taken away off Carrick. This is Fellaini. Manchester United's opening league fixture is against West Ham on Sunday week at Old Trafford. Sampdoria open up with a fascinating game in 19 days' time at home to Benevento. This team that's come from comparative nowhere to take their place in Serie A for the first time, consecutive promotions. Small city of 60,000 people, some 50 miles northeast of Naples. Something of a fairy tale that they've reached the level they have. Here's Caprari.
Slightly better from Sampdoria. Nice composed football on this left-hand side. There it is, resulted in the cross. That's really the first time that a Sampdoria player has got so wide open. Not the greatest cross, didn't have a lot to hit.
Pavlovic with the throw to Dennis Praet. Fellaini. Carrick. Valencia. On for Ander Herrera.
Good movement by Herrera. Not the worst cross. We've seen that many times in the modern game where you cut the ball back to the top of the box and somebody comes in, and on that occasion most of the runners were inside the box for Manchester United.
Sampdoria in the white. Going to Dublin from Genoa yesterday. Manchester United made the short hop across the Irish Sea. Barely half an hour in the air from Manchester to Dublin. After this, they go back to base, to Carrington, to their training complex, to prepare for next Tuesday's European Super Cup against Real Madrid, which is being played in Skopje, Macedonia, so they're due to travel on Monday. Chris Smalling. Torreira. Praet. Barretto's run, but offside. Marco Giampaolo.
Just went a little bit early with his run there. Much better from Sampdoria. I know we're only 6 or 7 minutes into the second half, but a little bit better from them.
Well, it's time for Own the Save, brought to you by Ally, which puts a spotlight on goalkeepers, in this case that man, David De Gea. Very much the number one at Manchester United, even if Romero was preferred in the Europa League last season.
Manchester United fans will be delighted that he's staying around. Carrick, Fellaini, Herrera and Matic. It's not quite as smooth as it was with the group in the first half. Pereira, Pogba, Mkhitaryan and Matic. I must say that Well, you looked at Matic, Johnny. We were complimenting him on his fitness levels. He was always in the right position, organising well, talking to his teammates. It looked as though he settled in almost seamlessly, really.
Thank you for joining us here on ESPN2. You're watching this international friendly presented by Heineken. And the Pole Linetti sent sprawling by the Swede Lindelof.
Lindelof looked a little bit more comfortable in the first half, but he's just prone to just diving in, and you just can't do that. You've got to be decisive when you're playing as a three. And as I said before, you get in isolation, and there's worries now on this right hand side. You've got to be, with your decision making, you've got to be spot on in those defensive roles.
Did you used to enjoy pre-season or merely endure it, Paul?
Endure it. We didn't. It was a totally different pre-season. It was so much track work, weights, you name it, push-ups, all that stuff. It was. Didn't see a lot of the ball in English football in the old days. And then on day one, Sir Bobby Robson wanted to come out in the blocks playing like Barcelona of old.
If I recall rightly, at Ipswich he usually did.
Not so bad.
Valencia. Here's Juan Mata.
Sampdoria fortunate to get out there. The press came in from Man United. There was no out ball to play beyond the press, and they just got a little bit fortunate there.
It was an interesting ball for Lukaku, but the flag went up straight away.
Well, it's good that Lukaku's mixing his game up. He's coming short for balls. He's stretching. He's coming on the shoulder of the defence. He's stretching the back of them. It's a very, very close decision. Obviously, the assistant referee is in a perfect spot there. But it looks marginal, to say the least.
Legions of Manchester United supporters. And there's a very small coterie of those backing Sampdoria. It's Martial amongst those being made ready. Ferreira, Mourinho's long-standing assistant, pushing out the instructions. Lukaku. Hesitation from the right-back Salah. Here's Darmian. Fellaini. Back to the Italian.
Manchester United again with the three runners in the box. Even though it was just a little bit late at that time, they still got there.
Holding offence detected by the referee, Neil Doyle. Fellaini did a lot of the hard work, getting past an opponent, but then gave the ball away.
To be careful.
For the referee to intervene.
Put his foot in there, a little bit naughty.
He caught Jacopo Sala.
Obviously telling the referee that he never touched it.
Silvestre. Somewhat overclubbed. So the hour mark approaching now, which is the cue for more changes. Anthony Martial, a young player with quite a bit to prove, it would seem, to Jose Mourinho, and he's being accompanied onto the playing area by Marcus Rashford. Off comes Daley Blind. The other man being withdrawn at this juncture is Romelu Lukaku. Record signing replaced by the young Colt.
I think he'd be pleased with his night's work. He didn't get on the score sheet, but as we said earlier, he showed when the press came from Sampdoria, who held the ball up well, threatened him behind the defence, was mobile. Going to continue with the three at the back. I'm guessing that Damian will slot into where Blind played, and Martial will maybe push on the left-hand side. Have a look.
Manchester United third favourites with the bookmakers for the English Premier League title. Manchester City installed as fairly firm favourites. Chelsea in second place in the betting lists. Here's Valencia. Juan Mata. As for Sampdoria, their coach Marco Giampaolo says that the top 8 places are out of reach. He wants them to be best of the rest, by which he means 9th. Be one better than last season if they manage it.
Well, it looks like the 3-5-2 is a very firm favourite with Mourinho this evening. It's exactly what's happened. Damian's gone to the left-hand side of the 3. Martial has pushed on as the wing-back on the left.
Valencia. Fellaini. And a Herrera. No joy there, because he turned around and the first thing he saw was that. The offside flag.
Yeah, my initial reaction as soon as the ball was laid off there from Fellaini. Herrera, who's got a wonderful habit, by the way, of getting into the penalty area. Just marginally offside. Good decision from the assistant referee. Nice finish, though. We were talking yesterday, John, on ESPN FC about Herrera. It seems there's going to be getting an extension on his contract. I think it's wonderful business by Manchester United. Got a lot of time for him as a player. I think he puts a great shift in every time he pulls the shirt on.
Strange, isn't it, that he's only just made an impression on the international scene at the age of 27. I suppose when you've had the likes of Xavi and Iniesta around on the Spanish scene, that
doesn't help, does it?
It's been difficult. Neat touch. Sampdoria, a rare attack. It's Linetti. And steered in for 1-1 by Dennis Praet. Expertly guided beyond David De Gea. And the tiny group of Sampdoria supporters have cause for celebration.
Well, Gianpaolo just changed the system a little bit. He's dropped one of his strikers in, helping the numbers in the middle of the park. And as the ball pops out there, that is a very, very nice finish indeed. Knew exactly what he was doing on the volley, inside of the foot, just passed it to the right hand of David De Gea. Very, very nice goal. Man United gave the ball away, the break was down Manchester United's right-hand side, resulting in that. Praet, very, very nice finish indeed. One apiece.
Yes, an attacking midfield player who's drawn covetous glances from numerous big European teams. Came from Anderlecht at the start of last season for €10 million. Recently won his first cap for his native Belgium.
That was a class finish. Fabulous finish.
I should point out that there is more top-line pre-season football coming your way. Saturday, 12:25 p.m. Eastern. We'll have a very attractive-looking friendly for you on ESPN when Tottenham take on Serie A champions Juventus. That game being played at Wembley Stadium in London, and it's also going to be streaming live on the ESPN app. Rashford. Martial. Mata. Martial again, and Fellaini, and it just cleared him. All 6'4" of him.
A very intricate play in the box there between Mata and Martial. Martial eventually, here he is, he gets the ball back off Mata, gets his head up, little chip. He was trying to find the head of Fellaini. Just put it a little bit too high for the big man. Came to nothing.
Time for Sampdoria to look to their bench for the first time. And Nicola Muru, who is one of their 3 summer signings, is replacing Daniel Pavlovic at left back. Muru, an Italian under-21 international from Cagliari. We're also going to see Ricky Alvarez, the Argentine, coming on for Linetti, whose last act in this game was to set up Praet's goal. Gianpaolo has this game and a fixture at Swansea City on Saturday to help tune up his men ahead of the start of the Serie A season, which is 2.5 weeks away. Goes against Mata.
It looked to me as though Rashford got quite a lot of the ball there. The referee didn't see it that way. Let's have a look at it from this angle. He got a lot of the ball. I didn't see a great deal in it, to be honest, John. Another thing I could think is foot up.
Virginie came off the worst, but is now in recovery mode. This international friendly on ESPN2 is presented by Heineken. Open your world. Enjoy responsibly. That's Alvarez, and it's catching practice for David De Gea. This fine arena held the 2011 Europa League final in which Porto beat Braga and is carded to stage 4 of the matches in the finals of Euro 2020, which is going to be an international smorgasbord of an event spread right across Europe. Prominent matches in places as diverse as London and Baku in Azerbaijan.
Manchester United trying to close the ball down, but it's not as one. It's an individual closing down. One player's closing the ball down, getting bypassed, and it's a late reaction for the Manchester United players. It's not quite as effective as it was with the first group in the first half.
Rashford. Faced by Virginie. And Virginie looked like a rabbit caught in the headlights.
Well, he tried to hold him up. The pace of Rashford, just a little bit too much for him. Virginie just tried to hold him up, as we'll see here. He's waiting for reinforcements to come in. Rashford decides to try and go by him. I think he's a little bit fortunate with getting this free kick. Actually, the ball just gets away there from Rashford. He goes down very easily. The referee didn't see it that way.
Taking the greatest interest in this free kick is Juan Mata.
Well, you would think it would favour the left foot. It's slightly to the right of the goal. Puglioni goal.
Herrera leaves it for Mata.
Wasn't the best, was it?
I think you're being kind.
As we've seen with a lot of the games, John, in pre-season, when the coaches go to the bench, it just upsets the rhythm of the game. The game in the first half was a much better spectacle. Just got to wait for the players to settle into this match.
Mata. Now Praet, the goal scorer, to the Paraguayan Edgar Barreto.
I like the fact, though, John, that Herrera filled in there for Valencia when Valencia was going in an advanced position. Mata failed to find him, and that the fast break was on for Sampdoria down Manchester United's right, where Valencia had vacated that position, but Herrera, just like the good pro that he is, that was back like a bullet, filling in that gap.
Free kick Sampdoria. They've shown rather more by way of threat in the second half.
There's Damian pulling the shirt. Good hold-up play there from Caprari.
Alvarez to take. And the block by Damian, out for a corner kick. Still going strong. He's got 2 more years to go on his contract, even though he's 35. 550 senior games in Italian football now.
David De Gea there initially trying to spring the fast break. Rashford got on his bike. Yeah, waiting was ground to cover.
And this time the referee will go to his pocket because the challenge on Herrera was deemed sufficiently cynical. Because Torreira.
It looks as though he's got his ankle trod on. As he went down, he trod on his calf, which is always painful. There it is with his left foot.
Who extended his contract with Sampdoria through to 2021 earlier this week.
Yeah, the game's got a little bit sloppy. The level's just dropped. So much so that the crowd are bored stiff, entertaining themselves.
Rashford brought down for a free kick.
That's been a feature, whether it's been Rashford or Lukaku, that let's call them both, the number 9s have closed the ball down very, very well. That's obviously a point of emphasis there for Jose Mourinho.
Regini to Sylvestre. Now, an important programming note for you, particularly for fans of MLS. ESPN's next MLS fixture has been moved to 2 p.m. Eastern. That's 11 a.m. Pacific, due to potential triple-digit temperatures in Portland, because the game on Sunday at Providence Park is the Timbers and the Galaxy. Major League Soccer presented by Audi, also streaming live on the ESPN app. So just to reiterate that game will now air at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific time on Sunday. Portland against LA Galaxy in MLS. Edgar Barreto makes way for Filip Juricic. Juricic, a Serbian international. Jacopo Sala replaced by Bartosz Berezinski at right back. So Sampdoria have now changed both their fullbacks. And Federico Bonazzoli is also coming on, who is a 20-year-old striker who has been acquired from Inter. He's played 9 games in Inter's first team, largely on the fringes though. Had a very successful loan spell at Sampdoria 2 years ago. He's on in place of Caprari. I saw a member of the staff trying to remove Caprari's GPS tracking vest from beneath his shirt. I don't guess that was a particular issue for you in your prime, Paul, tracked by GPS?
Because, well, the GPS in those days was hands on knees, absolutely blowing a gasket.
So David De Gea is replaced by Joel Pereira, and Phil Jones is on as well for Manchester United. Damian trots off. Sergio Romero, the former Sampdoria goalkeeper, not in the Manchester United squad today. We think because of a minor injury issue. Silvino Luro, another of Mourinho's lieutenants, overseeing these changes. Axel Tuanzebe, who we got a brief glimpse of. Only made 5 appearances towards the end of the last Premier League season. He replaces Victor Lindelof. Tuanzebe, player of great promise. He's only 19, born in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Brought up in the Lancashire mill town of Rochdale.
Beautiful town.
If you like Lancashire mill towns, Paul.
Which I do.
Mata with the throw. Second half flow disrupted by the number and the frequency of the substitutions. Had a relatively fluent first half this game. Here's Fellaini. Tuanzebe. Played both at right back and in central midfield in his 5 Premier League games. Now popping up wide on the left.
I thought the front 7 from Manchester United, that midfield 5 and the front 2, Mkhitaryan, Lukaku, they looked totally in sync to me. It was quite encouraging. noticeable that Pogba always was looking to pick out Lukaku with Lukaku's movement.
Too much doubt about it.
No. It's just a pity Martial just hasn't got into the game. I'm looking for him to recreate those dribbling skills that he showed in the previous games.
Martial. And Herrera. Another nice piece of work from Martial, rather similar to that moment when he cut in and created a goal against Real Madrid.
Yeah, that's what we like to see. Martial driving at defenders, just blew past the defender, no problem whatsoever. Not the greatest header in the world there from Herrera, wasn't very convincing.
Darkness overhead. Local time just after 9:20 in the evening. Many members of this crowd, no doubt, heading into the city centre afterwards for a fairly raucous session of entertainment and liquid refreshment.
Orange juice?
I think that's extremely doubtful. Now, Martial, Rashford calling for it urgently.
Was unlucky, but that's what, when you leave the likes of Martial just onside, offside, and he drives at people, he's very dangerous indeed.
Martial to Mata, 2-1. Another assist for Anthony Martial. And a goal swept home by the ever-popular Juan Mata.
Well, it seems to be a trademark goal for Juan Mata. How many times have we seen him just coming in nice and late, holding his run? He holds his run here. Martial picks him out, he gets his head up. No need to go by any Sampdoria defenders. Puts it inside on his left foot, just inside the penalty box. And I don't think it was ever in doubt. 2-1 Man United.
Fair reflection of the balance of the play or not?
I think so. I think Sampdoria have had they've been much better in the second half. I thought Manchester United completely dominated the first half. But when, as we said, when all the changes came in, I think that it's just about a true reflection. I think on the game as a whole.
Manchester United in front a second time in this international friendly on ESPN2, which is presented by Heineken. Jones. And back by Bailly to João Pereira, who is the third choice goalkeeper at Old Trafford these days. 20-year-old, born in Switzerland, but a Portuguese under-21 international. Mata. Rashford. Rashford going again for Mata's return pass.
Sampdoria back four, backing off, dropping off, Rashford dropping off, here they are. Little give and go here from Rashford. Good read in the end.
Valencia.
Manchester United look as though they've gone to a back four with Jones and Bailly at the heart of it.
Taking place at the same time as this match over in Italy, an Italian Cup second round tie between Foggia and Vicenza, which will interest Sampdoria, as the winners play Samp in the third round at the end of next week. Here's Martial for Manchester United. The Italian Cup featuring before the start of the Serie A season. Valencia. Cleared away from Fellaini by Berezinski, the Polish right back.
Yeah, Fellaini pulling off there. There he is, top of the box. Valencia with a decent cross in, well defended in the end, corner kick.
So the 35-year-old Quagliarella goes off to be replaced by 20-year-old David Kovnacki, who is another of the Polish contingent, signed from Lech Poznan this summer. Striker scored 11 goals last season. Goalkeeper as well being rotated, so Puscioni goes off and Andrea Tozzo will replace him. Perennial reserve, 7 seasons yet to play in the first team in a competitive game.
Well, he's going to get a very healthy 4 or 5 minutes of playing time. I'm sure that's going to do him a power of good.
And Torreira, the holding midfielder, replaced by Leonardo Capezzi. And finally, we can have the corner. Taken by Rashford. Floated for Herrera. And Fellaini back to Rashford. Oh, that was a decent effort, and Tozzo straight into the action.
Training ground move from the corner kick. Rashford driving the ball out to the edge of the box to Herrera, who met it beautifully on the volley. There's Rashford with the ball. Herrera with the volley, parried by the goalkeeper. Tozzo's just come on in, and yeah, that was a decent save actually.
Mata's kick. Herrera.
I did Tozzo a disservice, John. He's been very active in his few seconds on the field.
Only towards the end of this international friendly presented by Heineken, and coming up next on ESPN2, The Jump with Rachel Nichols. I should just repeat that urgent programming note as well about our MLS game on Sunday. Tuning in hoping to watch Portland and LA Galaxy. It's been moved forward to 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific due to the extreme heat in Portland at the moment. It was 106 degrees in that part of Oregon today.
Great game, great place to watch a game. Oh. Portland, fantastic.
I went for 2 games last season, and Portland-Seattle was quite the occasion.
It's good fun, yeah. Bailly stepping in there with a good read. And had a lot of work to do since he came on this evening.
So can you sum up your overall feelings and what you've learnt from today's events?
I enjoyed the way that Manchester United set up in the first half. I thought the way that they passed the ball, the way that Lukaku pressed, his mobility. I've always liked Mkhitaryan. I thought he was a good, very, very good player. I think he can be a difference maker for Manchester United. I just like the way that, as I said earlier, that attacking seven worked. Slight concern about the back three when they get isolated. The first half for me was by far the best football that we've seen. But little bits of Juan Mata with a good finish, Martial picking him out, just to highlight. But the second half's been a little bit of a disappointment because of all the changes, basically. Just the rhythm's gone out of the game.
More miles on the pre-season clock, though, and it all starts for real very soon. 9 days away from the opening Premier League fixture. In Manchester United's case, it's 11 days until they entertain West Ham, which means the return of Chicharito, Javier Hernandez, in West Ham colours to Old Trafford. And he's still immensely popular. The lure of the bars of O'Connell Street is proving too much for some of the spectators who are ambling towards the exits.
Dangerous tactic there from Sampdoria, high line, just beyond the halfway line. Fellaini on the ball trying to release Rashford. I think a feature of the first half also, John, was the width that was given to Manchester United by Valencia and Darmian. They really made the field big, made the spaces so that the passing lanes were wide open there for balls into Mkhitaryan and Lukaku.
2 balls on the pitch, one of them dismissed. Carrick back to Jones, Tuanzebe, Fellaini. And we've got 90 seconds or thereabouts to play in Dublin. Quickly taken and well fielded by the number 3 goalkeeper, Joel Pereira. With Kovnatski closing in.
Well, it was very brave by the goalkeeper and very brave by the centre forward. Just hope that they're okay.
Close to Paul Mariner, the former Ipswich, Arsenal and England centre forward. Valencia. Martial. Valencia has Herrera taking a defender away. And Martial forcing a throw-in, but there is no time for the throw-in. Manchester United win by 2-1. Victorious end to a successful pre-season. The goals today from Mkhitaryan and the winner from Juan Mata. 9 minutes from the end. In between time, Sampdoria level through Dennis Praet.